Hey guys, what's up? It's Katy and I'm back with another Marvel Contest of Champions video, and today we are going to be looking at the champion spotlight for Mangog, and I gotta say, this guy sounds pretty cool, so I've already glanced over it once. So let's go ahead and take a look at it, shall we? So obviously Mangog is gonna be mystic. He's the mystic or physical manifestation and sum total of the hatred of a billion beings from a race that was imprisoned through a mystical spell by Odin and the Norse gods. Mangog is physically unstoppable and nearly indestructible, while he's able to feed on psychic energies such as hate, fear, and devotion. He has claimed he will always exist so long as there is hatred in the world, and that's actually comically accurate. So like comic book accurate, not like comically like haha. Okay, anyway, I digress. All right, so let's take a look at his mechanics. And take a look and see what he's got. So Mangog has many ways that he can be played to obtain different utility sets. His core loop focuses around charging his heavy attack for as long as possible to deal massive bursts of energy damage. During a fight, Mangog builds a resource called Hatred, which can be used in various ways, such as stunning the opponent for long periods, allowing him the opportunity to charge his heavy attack, which is very important, inflicting a ton of stagger debuffs, inflicting armor breaks, building fury buffs, triggering additional immunities, and much more. Overall, Mangog offers a variety of gameplay possibilities, but ultimately leaves the opportunity in the player's hands. So that's actually kind of cool. I do like champs that have a kind of a rotation, but you can switch it up depending upon what you need from said champ. So all right, let's continue down and take a look at his strengths and his weaknesses. So good immunities. Mangog is immune to armor break and bleed effects at all times, but also can opt into triggering a new buff called Energy Protection, which grants immunity to shock, incinerate, cold snap, and frostbite. Oh, so while that's up, that's a good counter to freezer burn. Great damage potential. Mangog has many ways to ramp up his damage with armor breaks, fury buffs, and burst energy damage on his heavy attack. All of these can stack together to deal some pretty chunky energy damage. So interesting. Buff removal. Mangog has a decent amount of stagger in his kit. However, while enraged, he can trigger a crazy amount of staggers on the opponent, allowing him to easily prevent an opponent from gaining any buffs. Suicide Mastery friendly. Mangog plays quite well with the Liquid Courage and Double Edge Masteries, and while enraged, he takes less damage from the Recoil Mastery. That's awesome. That's kind of like Thing, yeah, that's kind of like Thing. This plus his tanky nature can make him an absolute machine with the right mastery setup. Weaknesses: evade. To play Mangog effectively, he will need to run 5-hit combos. Opponents who have a chance to evade will prevent this loop and reduce his effectiveness. Petrify or other abilities that prevent invert power gain. Mangog gets a large portion of his power via passive power gain, so any abilities that prevent this or invert this will shut him down completely. So that's good to know for when we fight him in the event quest. So, you know, someone like Void or your power controller, so, you know, Magic, Claire, the Visions, Warlock, those ones. Opponent on hit effects. To play Mangog like a pro, he will occasionally need to take a hit while unstoppable. Opponents who power drain, inflict stuns, or deal massive burst damage on their basic attacks will prevent him from playing into this loop. Okay, so burst damage dealer. That was good to know. Stun immunity or heavy attack punish. Mangog wants to use long duration stuns to charge up his heavy attack in matchups where this is prevented. He will struggle. Good to know. And energy resistance. Most of Mangog's crazy damage is burst energy damage. So Dr. Voodoo has a high energy resistance, so that's kind of nice. Havoc might actually work out well to just get the plasmas on, right? And let them detonate. All right. Let's continue on and take a look at his abilities. So always active, immune to armor break debuffs and all bleed effects. Mangog suffers minus 40% combat power rate, instead gaining 5% of a bar every second while below 2 full bars. Okay, so that's interesting. That's good to know for the event quest. If struck while unstoppable, gain a non-stacking fury buff, granting attack for 10 seconds. So this guy is unstoppable too, so it looks like She-Hulk's actually going to be a really good counter, right? With the slow and the petrify. So She-Hulk's probably going to demolish this guy in the event quest. All right, hatred of a billion beings, max stack 10. Mangog starts with 3 hatred. Hatred is unaffected by ability accuracy and cannot be gained more than once every 0.2 seconds. Gain 1 hatred each time either champion finishes a 5-hit combo. So we gotta pay attention to our combos. Gain 1 hatred when nullifying a buff. Each stack of hatred grants the following: energy resistance, armor rating, and crit rating. So we're gonna need to pay attention to our combo meter when we're fighting against this guy in the monthly event quest. While Mangog's base stats aren't great, he gets a ton of power from building hatred. Without hatred, he will dwindle to near nothingness. So that's something we want to pay attention to, is we want to, you know, pay attention to our combo meter and that sort of thing. All right, let's continue on. And let's talk about this enraged thing that he's got going on. Activating a special attack with 10 stacks of hatred triggers enrage, causing hatred to fall off over 8 seconds after the special attack ends. While enraged, each time Mangog would gain hatred, enrage is paused for 3 seconds instead. While enraged, take 50% less damage from the enemy attacks and recoil mastery. Gain an indefinite unstoppable buff. This is removed when enrage expires or if Mangog is struck by a special attack. That's fun. Gains during special attacks 1 and 2, gain an indefinite unblockable buff. Yeah, this guy sounds like he's actually going to probably be a Red Guardian fight as well. Basic attacks that make contact with the opponent have 70% chance to inflict 14-second stagger debuff. A staggered opponent has their next buff nullified. This guy's sounding more and more like it's going to be a Red Guardian fight. Mangog has many ways to use his enrage. Choosing what special to trigger will cater to different playstyles, but it goes beyond this. While enrage, landing lots of attacks will keep enrage up longer and inflict a ton of staggers, or players can opt to use the same time to charge their heavy attack as long as possible for some big burst damage. So let's talk about these heavies. Heavy charging can be held for an extended duration and deals up to 13,085 energy damage based on charge time. What? What? While enraged is not active, consume 2 hatred to inflict an armor break debuff for 15 seconds, reducing armor rating. While enraged, gain plus 220% ability power rate while charging. Jeez. So yeah, if you're going for this guy in arena, or if you're going for him in crystals, you're definitely going to want to use that heavy a lot, and we want to be careful while he's charging his heavy when he's enraged during the monthly event quest, because otherwise he's going to gain a ton of power. All right, let's talk about these specials. So special 1, Flurry of Hatred. On activation, gain plus 2 hatred. This bypasses the gain cooldown. The second and final hits inflict a stagger debuff for 14 seconds. If enraged, gain a non-stacking energy protection buff, granting full immunity to shock, incinerate, cold snap, and frostbite effects for 15 seconds. This buff is paused while enraged. So if you choose to activate special or enrage with a special 1, then you'll be opting into some pretty powerful immunity. So that's kind of good to know if you're on like a freezer burn node, right? That's kind of what you want to pay attention to. All right, now let's move on to the special 2. Energy Cannon. That sounds fun. Each hit deals a burst of energy damage. The first hit steals the opponent's power above their nearest full bar. If they have less than one full bar of power, all their power is stolen, and he gains 100% of the power stolen from this attack. If enraged, the final hit inflicts a stun debuff for 3 seconds. If the opponent is struck, the stun is removed. So this is where you want to use your heavy attack, right? Charge it up as long as you can, and then launch it for some damage while the opponent is stunned after the special 2. All right, the special 3, Unstoppable Rage and Malice. Nullify up to 10 buffs from the opponent. Gain a non-stacking regen buff, healing over 5 seconds. This is increased by an additional base health for each buff that was nullified during this attack. So if you're going up against guys with a lot of buffs, launching your special 3 and you're getting low in health, that could be the way to do it. If enraged, this attack inflicts a stun debuff for 2 seconds. So that's kind of a nice one if you're going to be up in like longer fights, low in health pool, and your opponent has a ton of buffs, i.e. like the 6.2.6 champion boss, or that new Gwen pool. Gwenperion. All right, signature ability, Empowered by Sin. Each time a stagger expires naturally on the opponent, Mangog has a 25% chance to gain 1 hatred. While unstoppable, Mangog passively regenerates 20% of incoming hit damage instantly. Gain attack rating per hatred and gain crit rating per hatred. So He does sound like he needs the awakened ability, but not necessarily a high sig. So it would be beneficial to have this guy awakened versus not. All right, now let's take a look at his synergies. All right, so you have Amber, Prison with Loki. Mangog starts the fight with 1 full bar of power. That's nice. Loki gains 10% attack rating for each unique buff that is active. Rage on, that actually works out really well with Loki if you can steal their buffs. Rage on with Kingpin, Immortal Hulk, Weapon X. So this is just for Mangog. When becoming Enrage, inflict the opponent with a 5-second suppression debuff, reducing their defensive combat power rate by 30%. That's actually really nice for Mangog. Nemesis with Thor, Jane Foster, Heimdall, and Odin. All champions gain crit rating. Enemies with Angela, Hela, and Loki. All champions gain 6% attack rating. Energy Absorption with Bishop and Havoc. All Synergy champions once per fight when struck by an energy attack inflict the opponent with a stun debuff for 1.2 seconds. Ooh, that's nice. Bishop plus 25% regen rate and plus 30% prowess potency. That's really nice for Bishop. Havoc, plus 5% combat power rate and plus 20% ability power rate. That's good for Havoc. I like that synergy for Havoc. Get that power in. Banished with Hulk, Black Widow, Cap, Hawkeye, and Iron Man. Mangog, while enraged, all attacks deal a burst of energy damage equal to 6% of their modified attack. Ooh, so that would be good for like any like story quest, event quest, and that sort of thing. And then fueled with rage with Odin, Mangog becomes immune to nullify. Each time nullify is prevented, gain a non-stacking precision buff granting plus 350 crit rating for 15 seconds. Odin, when dealing a burst of direct damage using special 2 attack, the damage threshold of each burst is increased by 150% of Odin's base attack rating. So that synergy, it looks like if you're gonna bring Mangog on a team, you're gonna want to bring Odin on a team and vice versa. So that's really cool. This guy sounds really interesting. I can't wait to get my hands on him to play him. Now, I don't like to judge champs by what they look like on paper. I like to play with them and see how they actually are, but I'm interested to play this guy. Like, he looks pretty fun. He looks pretty fun. And I mean, he looks like we saw his picture, right? Like, it's crazy. But anyways, guys, that's all that I got. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Mangog? How do you think he's gonna be? Do you think he's gonna be a pain in the monthly event quest? I kind of think they're gonna make this synergy here with Odin a node. It's just a feeling that I have. But let me know in the comments below and let's discuss. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching and enjoy this quick word from Kevin Smith.
Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith, and if you enjoyed the mediocre Mcoc video full of scrub gameplay, then show Katy some love by hitting like and subscribe, man. Katy don't ask for much. Katy did ask for this. Katy did. So, do like Katy did and bug people and get you to like and subscribe, man. She's doing that Mcoc beautifully. Not mediocre. Katy!